Everything you need to ace American history in one big fat notebook. Unit 2, Colonial America, 1607 to 1780s. Chapter 9. Parliament and protests. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, so there was the end of the salutary neglect. When the French and Indian War happened very expensive, the Great Britain had a really big debt, so they taxed the colonies to get the money. And then the Sugar Act allowed lowered taxes on molasses that were bought in the colonies, hoping to minimize smuggling. But by the way, the Sugar Act did that. And well, colonists believed that the Sugar Act violated their legal rights as British citizens by denying the right to trial. And some even further, James Otis, a lawyer in the colonies, said, since the colonists did have representations to debate tax. And then a stamp act is basically there's a stamp put onto every little bitty itsy piece of paper that the Americans used and bought from the English, and the stamp was put on there so that it was official and that the tax was paid. Even legal documents and wills to be stamped and taxed so that they can even be used as official wills. And then Samuel Adams and Patrick Henry. The Boston businessman Samuel Adams agreed with Otis. He summed up Otis's position at the Boston town meeting in no taxation without representation. Really famous, by the way. And then 2, Patrick Henry was a lawyer and a member of the House of Burgesses. And in 1765, he raised his cry of no taxation without representation in Virginia. And in the Boston Massacre, there was once the soldiers who was guarding Boston, and then the crowd started hitting the soldiers with rocks, stones, and snowballs, and then the soldiers were like, I can't take it anymore, and shot them. 8 people died. And then the Boston Tea Party, basically it was led by the Sons of Liberty, where they dumped a lot of tea. And it was a lot of property, like $2 million of worth of property today's currency. That's a lot of money of loss. Alright. Quiz time. Oh wait, relax and find it out yourself. Quiz 1. Why did England send a standing army to the colonies to keep guard on those people? That's true, by the way. Quiz number 2. Which key American idea was developed by the Bostonian James Otis and coined by Samuel Adams? No taxation without representation. Yeah. How does a boycott work? A boycott works by not buying things for like a certain amount of time so that that person who you're boycotting with allows them to change stuff. 4. How are women involved in political protests in the 1760s? They encouraged people to use homemade goods instead of imported and exported goods. What was the verdict in the case of the Boston Massacre deaths? Let's see. It was that the soldiers were not found guilty. The people were. Question 6. Who was responsible for the Boston Tea Party? The Sons of Liberty. Quiz 7. What was the reasoning behind the Corsican Acts? They were intended to help England maintain control over the colonies. See you next time. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next episode. Shun out and peace.